Taking a shower.
She's got a pretty face. She's got that young kind of face. I'm more of a milf man. I like them a little weathered.
Andrew's into gilfs.
I mean, experience is experience.
It's all right if she gave a hand job to Harry Houdini, right?
What?
A Houdini job.
It's a joke from Grandma's Boy.
Oh, okay, cool.
Oh.
Welcome,
Nick Swardson-
everyone.
Nick Swardson hooks up with the old lady who had sex with all the old people, and then he's just like, I should get checked for STDs or something like that.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome back to Hard Reset, a Cold North production. I'm your host, Patrick the Law Morris. Joining me this week, we have gorgeous Ben Reynolds.
Meow.
And the effervescent Andrew Etchen.
Hello. Back again.
Coming up on episode number 105 of Hard Reset, we'll be discussing our first impressions of Link's Awakening and what we thought of today's state of play. But as far as what we've been playing this week, I think we've all been playing the same thing.
You haven't been playing what I've been playing.
So let's jump in with Link's Awakening. No? Okay, Ben says he's been playing something else.
NBA 2K20.
Okay.
The shit out of it. Because it's a grind, but I like it. It's a fun game. It's a fun grind.
All right. And so how does, is it one of those situations where Ghost is talking. Is it one of those situations where where it really hasn't improved that much, or is it getting better?
I think that they did improve it. It's one of those things where they've made the rating system the way that you have to earn things to get up makes it so that the people who actually do it, I think, have better ratings and more badges and things like that are people who actually have played longer, whereas you can't just necessarily pay as much to get far as
Ben,
you could in some of the other ones.
You were breaking up there. What'd you say?
I was saying that you can't necessarily pay to get as far as the My Player, which is kind of nice.
That's good. And
then I don't know. There's just some improvements with those types of things, and yeah, I don't know. I think it's they've made some quality of life improvements. I mean, it's more or less the same game as most years are, but it's still a fun game.
Yeah. All right. I mean, it is a year. It's been 6 years since I've bought an NBA game, so I'll probably buy this one. Because
I've never really bought a NBA or 2K or football or really anything.
Well, I bought the last one I bought was NBA 2K14
game.
And then before that I bought NBA Live 08, and so it's been 6 years, and it's time for me to buy another NBA game. And so, Ben, where are you playing that game? On Xbox?
Yeah.
Are you gonna buy it on Switch?
No.
I might get
the only
it on
one
Switch.
I bought on Switch annoyed me too much because they didn't fucking switch what they made what's B on Xbox be A on and so
the
I was
controls were all
constantly
fucked up.
Yeah, it was not. If you played both, it was not playable.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
that sucks. I'm gonna check to see how much it is. Andrew, what have you been playing this week?
Well, on top of Link's Awakening, been playing a whole bunch of games. So I got Link's Awakening, Greedfall, Borderlands, Monster Hunter, and the new Surge 2, which I'm very excited about, and I'm excited to play that after this exact podcast.
Yeah, that's
And-
like Cyberpunk Dark Souls, right?
Yeah, and it's super fun. Their kind of main gimmick with the game that helps it sort of stand out amongst those Soulsborne type games is their limb dismemberment system. So as you fight people, you can target their body or their head or any of their limbs, and as you do damage to them, if they, if you can deal damage to like an unguarded body part, or if you see an enemy and he's got a piece of armor, you can target that armor and
you can like
beat
rip
away
it
at
off
that, and then you can rip it off. And be like, all right, like
this belongs
mine
to
now.
me now.
And that's how you get schematics and stuff to make armor and weapons. Or you get weapons when you just like, to get a weapon, you just cut off someone's right arm, like their main weapon holding arm, and then you'll get it. And different bosses, you can cut off different parts to specifically get like these special weapons. There's all sorts of cool stuff. But the game is really, it's definitely a good Soulsborne type game, and I really enjoy the ability to kind of go through, and every time you play something, you can just like choose a different body part, and you're just like hacking stuff off. Keeps
Bird
it
of the
interesting.
different
instead of
soul.
typical.
Bird of the different soul.
Say that one more time.
You can birth a different soul.
Birth
A different soul.
Yeah,
I suppose so.
Because it's
Nice.
a soul born.
Oh yeah. Oh, I see. Oh my. Well, one of the other cool gimmicks in that game, though, is you can take all your scrap. That's your souls, that's your blood. You take that to these med bays, and those are your fireplaces. But you can bank all of your points into it. So as you like go around, you can just like stuff it full of your points, and then just like safely go back out and keep farming. So that's a nice little feature that helps you level up and sort of pace yourself. It's a blast, though. I love it. It's super hard, but it's also really satisfying. You just cut off all sorts of stuff, and you got this cool little drone, and he shoots people. It's awesome.
nice.
I thought you were going to say that you can stuff it full of your penis.
I do like to put it in my ass.
That's
if
called
what you-
docking, and it's a real thing.
Docking? What is that? Sticking a controller up your butt?
No, docking is when one guy holds his foreskin open and the other guy puts his penis inside it.
That's horrifying.
Yeah, it's not great.
It's not great.
I tried it one time. It was
I did
not
try
very
it.
pleasurable.
But I was
What?
the receiver.
You can't knock it till you try it. So Pat had to try
I
it.
had to try it because I was like, that sounds gross. I
Yeah.
really want to
That's-
knock it, but I can't
that's-
knock it till I try it.
That's one of those mottos Pat lives his life by.
I gotta play the game.
If you ever hear me knocking anything, it's because I tried it and I didn't like
I
it.
didn't like it.
Exactly. No. So I this week have been playing a little game called Link's Awakening. I think we've all been playing Link's Awakening.
It's true.
Yeah, I just got an ocarina. Some weird stuff.
Oh, you're behind.
Andrew just
I'm
helped
pretty
me. I was stuck, so Andrew just helped me.
Okay, so
Get to
where
the-
is everyone in this game at this point?
I just gave the golden leaves to the homeboy.
Oh,
in
gotcha.
His little fucking thing.
Nice.
So I'm a little past that. I'm past the dungeon that you do after that.
The key cavern.
And so I'm trying to now, I guess, find Marin.
Gotcha.
But I did just go into the town and didn't realize I could lift up these rocks, and went to the sleep temple.
And got the ocarina.
Yeah, and got the ocarina. So that's new. I didn't realize that was a usable piece of equipment.
All right. I am a little bit further
does
than
this-
both of you.
I think I know what this does. Wait. Oh, I
All
don't know
right,
how
put
to
the
play
game
it.
down
Oh,
right
shit.
now. I'm a little bit further than both of you. I am like halfway through the Angler's Tunnel dungeon, which
Is
is
that the third or fourth? Is that the fourth or fifth one?
it's the one that you're almost at, Andrew.
The fourth one.
Yeah. So I'm trying to think. Is it the
All
fourth
right. I think that's the one where you probably get like either the hook shot or something. I'm trying to
flippers.
remember from the flippers. Oh, the flippers.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I remembered that eventually you got to swim.
Yeah. So I finally got the flippers. I actually just got them, and haven't even used them yet. I got them, and then I saved, and then I went to bed. But how, like, what are you guys thinking of this game so far? Like, I mean, because it's a Zelda, but it's a very different Zelda than the only other Zelda we've gotten on Switch.
I like it more than the other Zelda we got on Switch, but
I agree.
Wow.
the main reason I like it more is because it's more of a traditional Zelda. I didn't like the Switch Zelda that much. I'm on the record on this podcast.
Well,
talking about multiple times about how I was not that crazy about it. Like I thought it was a really cool experience, but I thought that I hated how short all the little like dungeon things
the
were.
shrines.
And
yeah.
even the animals were really pretty fucking short too. And like that it just didn't feel like there was enough like puzzliness to it, and that's like a thing that I really like about. And that's why the Switch accelerates, is because you can literally just pause in the middle of a fucking and turn it off. And so it's like it does, if like you can't finish a dungeon right then, who cares? Like they made the ones in Breath of the Wild so small because they wanted it to be bite-sized and stuff, but it's like they were too short. Like if
you could figure them all out pretty quickly, and then you're like, okay, back to exploring.
Yeah. I feel like they were trying. There was definitely an attempt to make them much more. You can play it in a quick burst, but I think that took away from the overall feeling, because there have been times in Link's Awakening where I'm like wandering around trying to figure out what to do for like,
which is a very
hour.
patent thing in fucking Zelda games.
Yeah, that's because they give you like a small hint and then a general sort of possible direction, and you got to fucking figure it out from there. And the world is kind of like a big maze.
Exactly.
Now that I'm thinking about it, the old Zelda games were like the original, Souls games. You know?
Okay, we don't need to get back on Souls. No, but So I think this is going to be a very unpopular opinion that we're all going to reach a consensus on. I like this better than Breath of the Wild 2.
I bet Zach doesn't.
Yeah, Zach doesn't like anything better than Breath of the Wild.
He hasn't played the new one yet. I think he's played a little bit of it when I brought it. Like he saw me play like a tiny little bit of it over the weekend. But
I mean, we put Twilight Princess and Wind Waker HD in front of Zach, and he was like, "No, this sucks. Gonna play Breath of the Wild."
He just doesn't like having to have the game explain, the instructions in the beginning.
Yeah. But so we're in agreement that I prefer this one. I think this is a better game.
Yeah, like exactly. It's back.
I do think it is a little. The bosses are a little easy.
Yeah, compared to what I remember.
Yeah,
I
also
should turn up the difficulty or something.
There's some times when it's like I'm playing this game and I'm thinking, man, this was a Game Boy game. But then there are other times where I'm playing it and I'm like, oh yeah, this was a Game Boy game. Like the boss designs, not very intricate at all.
No.
Yeah.
But it's really it's one of the games where I've been like, the fact that you can go from handheld to playing it on a big screen is like really cool, because it's almost like playing like Link's Awakening on a Game Boy, or playing fucking like A Link to the Past on fucking
it's funny
Nintendo.
It's funny you bring that up, because that like every version of this game has been able to do that, because you could play with the Super Game Boy, and like put it on the TV. And so, how much are you guys playing this game on TV?
I've played probably at least 2 hours on a TV.
Andrew?
Yeah, probably about. Well, I brought it home one night and plugged it in and played for like probably 3 or 4 hours on the TV. But otherwise, I've enjoyed just taking it upstairs and like lying in bed and playing.
Yeah, I've definitely played in bed while watching like TV and stuff some, and then like I've also played like just in downtime at work some, and then yeah, I've played on the TV some.
Nice. I have exclusively played on handheld because I'm playing it on the Switch Lite. Which,
Yeah. So does that? So it has like a better battery and better like sort of smaller feel.
No, it's a
Yeah.
worse battery.
It's
no,
a worse battery.
So the battery is a little bit smaller milliamp wise, but it's a more battery efficient or power efficient system on a
Because
chip.
probably because of the lack of the removable controllers too.
The system on a chip is more efficient. Not having a charged Joy-Con is more efficient. A smaller screen is more efficient. There's a lot of things on the Switch Lite that make the battery. It's like a couple hours better than the original Switch,
Nifty.
but it's worse than the new standard Switch.
Oh,
Which
I wish I could trade mine in. Just be like, hey,
Can.
I think you can at GameStop. I think you can pull it off for like $75.
Yeah.
like you bring it in and they'll just be like, we'll swap it out.
Yeah, so you
$250 for it right now.
So you could trade.
Oh.
You could trade up for $50.
Damn, I could just pull out my memory card and be like, here you go.
Yeah, pretty much.
And they'll even help you with the memory transfer.
Wow.
All right.
Ben,
All right.
Ben is
I
up
should
to
definitely do that.
par on his GameStop knowledge.
And I wonder if that would let me get a Switch that has different colored Joy-Cons. Because I like the different colored Joy-Cons.
I love the neon Joy-Con.
I'm buying the Wario colored ones when they come out in October, and then I'm also going to buy that purple PlayStation controller when it comes out.
Yeah, I'm buying that purple PlayStation controller, but I bought the yellow Switch Lite, and honestly, it's so good that I'll have trouble looking at the Switch as a home console anymore. It's like it's almost just a handheld to me now.
Yeah, it becomes sort of like a Game Boy, but like a Super Game Boy.
Yeah.
It's very evocative of a Game Boy Advance.
Like it just reminds me, like sitting in bed and like turning on the TV, just sitting there and playing my Switch while the TV is on in the background. That's exactly the kind of thing I did when I was a little kid. I'd go down in our basement, lay on the couch,
Put a movie
just
on,
turn on like
play Game Boy.
We wouldn't have any like we barely had any cable, so like I would just put on like one channel that. Excuse me. Excuse me. Sorry, listeners. But yeah, I would go downstairs into the basement and turn on like Fox or whatever, and just have like Simpsons or like Malcolm in the Middle or something coming on occasionally, and just sit there and play like Final Fantasy Tactics. That's a game they need to remaster, like Link's Awakening.
It's coming.
Final Fantasy Tactics. Oh, the original. So fucking good.
Final Fantasy Tactics HD is coming to Switch.
What?
Yeah.
Why did you not tell me this sooner?
This was announced a while ago.
Oh, that would explain it.
I feel like you were like actually stoked about it. I think I think you just forgot.
I think you just forgot.
I mean, let's see. I'm looking up Final Fantasy Tactics HD. I'm like, yeah, this is the original, but like, let's get it all polished.
Oh, you're wanting a total remake. Okay,
Yeah,
so
would,
so let's talk about the like
although Final Fantasy Tactics is also dope, so I'd probably get that too.
remake wise. This is one of the more radical ones. Like
For Link's Awakening?
to take a Game Boy game and make it look this good.
Yeah, because on the Game Boy, I do remember some of the bosses just in the Game Boy too. you didn't move around as quickly as you move around in this. Like you can
That's
move around
true.
a lot more.
Yeah,
easily.
that's probably one of the things that actually makes the bosses seem
Easier.
easy.
Because in the original, you couldn't go diagonally.
Yeah, and you
only
only
go-
had a D-pad also.
But I remember he doesn't turn that way. Like he can walk that way, but he doesn't like actually
Yeah.
face that way when he swings. He only really has like 2 swinging directions.
Yeah.
And so, or 2 or 3 like directions he swings from. And so basically, you know, when you had that, I remember sometimes you'd swing and he'd like swing the wrong direction and like deflect himself off or something. And yeah, the old Game Boy one, I'm pretty sure you also didn't move and like walk as quickly. So I think, yeah, just all around you'd be like running around a boss arena and like things, the bosses would be like jumping all around you and you'd be like, oh shit, I don't move like nearly as fast. Or in this, you can like, you can just run around and use the feather and just like jump away.
There's a lot
everything.
more fluidity of movement in this one. And it's the same thing with Link to the Past. Is like Link to the Past, you always have to like, when you're fighting the shield guys, you have to offset yourself so that your sword can hit them without hitting their shield. It's an interesting combat system for sure. I think that it's a very good remake. Like I think that their
I agree.
Their loyalty to the original, to the source material. Jesus fucking Christ! Why are you gonna rock your siren so long? Jesus!
Why you gotta rock the siren so loud? What do you want everyone to hear?
Don't get hit by a car.
Nah, they're being dicks. But no, I think that they were very faithful to the original, while at the same time, I think still taking enough liberty that it really makes it feel worth it and makes it feel like a new game. And I know that there was some hate going around and of like, oh, Nintendo is charging $60 for a Game Boy game in 2019, and it's like, I mean, first of all, when this came out on Game Boy, it was probably $40, which at the time had the same purchasing power that $60 has now. And second, I got no problem paying $60 for this. This is a good game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's definitely, and it's interesting all the like little tiny new things they've added, like the side scrolling portions when you go inside of like an underground area. Those little 2D sides or like sort of sections, those were never in the original one.
Yeah, they were.
I don't think so.
No, I definitely remember those.
Were they?
I'm pretty sure
I don't remember that at all.
Yeah, and there's like Goombas in the original too.
There are?
Yeah.
Oh man, I guess it has been like over a decade since I've played it, but I don't remember that at all.
Yeah.
All I remembered was the Chomp Chomp, like
the Chain Chomp, Bow Wow.
the Chain Chomp. But I never remembered like Goombas, and there's certainly, I don't remember there being. Was there like a Yoshi toy inside of like the little weird like crane game?
Yeah, I think so.
Because I do remember the crane game, but I don't remember there being like a Yoshi thing. But maybe you're right. It was like the dinosaur, and you give it to the lady in the play. Wow, maybe they did. Maybe it is all like exactly the same. I thought they added like new stuff. I guess it is really just like quality of life stuff, not necessarily like new world. That's actually awesome to know.
Yeah, it's and so how do you guys? Something that was really controversial when this game was revealed was the art style. How do you guys feel about it?
I like it.
You like it?
I don't mind it.
I think it's really cool.
I think so too. Like,
It's all colorful and cute.
I'm looking at so much of this game, and I'm thinking, just do other games like this. Like, use the art style, use the same
You're like, it's like a chibi version of my favorite childhood game.
Yeah. Give me.
It just almost feels like you're playing like a toy version of Zelda, sort of like it's like.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It looks like a little toy.
It looks like what your mind remembered it as a kid. I don't necessarily love how when you are running around the world though, your peripherals of your screen are all kind of like hazy.
Yeah, that's one thing I dislike too.
It's like I get what they're going for. It's like, oh, it's like the horizon, but like it's kind of annoying.
Have you guys had some like stutters, some frame stutters at all?
I have not. I heard about that. I've
No.
heard that people have, but I have not experienced that at all.
Yeah, Mine's been
I
nice
have
and smooth.
for sure.
Probably because of the Switch Lite.
I
Yeah,
mean,
it's just
maybe
too-
that's why I was
Can't
wondering.
handle it. Something so big.
But so okay, so
Like
I mean,
Andrew's dick.
Yeah.
wrapping up our conversation on this, because we're going to do a spoiler cast and we're going to get really in depth about, you know, what we think about it. But what game do you guys want Nintendo to remake, or Grezzo, I guess, to remake next?
Final Fantasy Tactics.
That doesn't
Okay.
make sense, Andrew.
That doesn't make sense, Andrew.
Why not?
Grezzo is owned by Nintendo.
Well, they can do it. Actually, I would love them to remake Final Fantasy Tactics Advance, which was the one for the Game Boy, not the one for the
All right.
PS1.
We are getting Final Fantasy Tactics on Switch.
No, it's not the same. I want a chibi version.
Or Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Seasons.
That seems to be the popular choice. Like, just lift and shift, exact same assets, everything. Just do it again.
Lift and shift. I never heard that.
Exactly. But it was
I
2 more games, basically.
2 more games. I love the art style on this, and I would love to see the Oracle games in this art style. But I really love Minish Cap.
Yeah, I
And
was
I
actually
wouldn't-
thinking
I
of that
never
same
played
thing.
it.
I wouldn't want Minish Cap in this art style. I would not, I
You
would want
wouldn't?
them to come
I
up with
would
a different
love
art
it.
style.
Oh, I would be
What was Minish Cap on?
Game Boy Advance.
I want them to make the 4 seasons. I want them to remake all the old Game Boy Zelda games like this, because some of
Four
them might
Seasons
never
is
even
Oracle
played.
of Seasons.
Yeah.
Or seasons. Sorry.
I want them.
Four
So
seasons.
I mean, we all dream about the Zelda collection. Here's all the 2D Zelda games for $60, and here's all the 3D Zelda games for $60. Put them on Switch, right? I would love that, but I think honestly, I think at this point I just want them to port the Wii U HD, so Twilight Princess HD and Wind Waker HD, port that to Switch. If I could
I
have
would
them,
love to play Wind Waker again.
yeah, if I could have them bring any Zelda games to Switch, it would be those 2.
Yeah, put those to Switch and then just make Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Seasons with the same art style.
And yeah, and I mean, we're being very reductionist here, but it's really, how much work can it be? Come on, it's all basically already done.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just gotta make it smooth.
You've already got the art, you just got to remake the game.
Yeah.
You've already got the assets, you just got to put it in
You've already
place.
got the entire skeleton of the game. It's the general framework is all there.
Well, and yeah, the map is pretty similar to actually even too.
And so,
the map's pretty accurate. I kind of wish that you could change the map progression and camera angle. I would love to change change it to completely top down and have it so that when you touch the edges of the screen, it always shifts to the next thing, as opposed
seems
to
seems like
'cause that's
something
how-
that they would have included in a
because
game, in a remake
that's how
like
the
this.
original was exactly made. And I think that and running top down, I wouldn't mind just looking at the top of Link's head.
I'm sure that so I probably the reason they didn't do that is because of the aspect ratio of the screen. Considering the Game Boy was almost a perfect square, and this one is very, very wide, much wider than it is tall. That
would have been odd.
Yeah, it could have caused some problems. But
Well, stretch.
that would have been cool. But yeah, no.
I still wish they'd at least just make it all top down.
I'm definitely with you, Ben. Oracle of Ages, Oracle of Seasons, and then also port the Wii U games, because God, fucking, you remade those games for 12 million people that bought the Wii U. Fucking port them for the 40 million people that own the Switch.
Yeah, give us what we want.
Yeah,
We need it.
come on.
Then now all the people who are buying Switch Lites.
That's right. And there's gonna be the Switch Lite is gonna sell like crazy.
And when Andrew and I trade our Switches for Switch 2s, and
There you go. All
I hope
those
they call it
Other
switcheroo.
people buy our old Switches,
Yeah.
so that there's more people who have Switches.
Switch is selling like crazy. Fucking port those games because you already remade them. Port them to the Switch. But we also have to discuss the topic of the show.
Daddy shoe. I just like to sing along.
All right, so we were very lucky because usually we record our podcast and then we go on Twitter and Nintendo or Sony or Microsoft has tweeted and said, hey, we just heard Cold North recorded their podcast, so now we're going to announce our next Nintendo Direct or State of Play or whatever.
What?
Yeah, usually they wait until we record and just to fuck us so we can't talk about it until next week.
Oh.
But this time, Sony was like, we're going to throw those guys a bone. And we're going to do it right before their podcast so they can discuss the whole thing. So Ben and I have both watched.
There's a lot that we don't need to talk about.
There is a lot that we don't need to talk about.
Key points. Hit those bullet points.
Well, we'll touch on everything, even the things that don't need to be talked about, even just briefly to acknowledge that it was there. But, no, but this State of Play, okay, in general, Ben, do you think they're on the right track here? Like, with this State of Play as a medium for delivering information to us?
I think it's interesting. There's one reveal that I thought was really dumb, but it was an interesting reveal.
Which one?
The PS4 Pro.
Oh, Death Stranding.
Yeah, the Death Stranding PS4 Pro. I thought that the reveal of it was incredibly stupid, but I thought it was kind of a cool looking PS4 Pro.
It's a pretty cool console. Andrew, I put a picture of it in the Discord.
Let me take a gander.
The controller is also pretty cool.
The controller is awesome, especially the fact that it's very it's meant to obviously mimic the baby pod.
Yeah.
The controller is awesome.
I would definitely like the controller, but the PlayStation skin I could do without.
Yeah, I wish it was a plainer PlayStation skin, but it's white at least, which Pat I'm sure likes.
Yeah, he likes that white power.
Oh, Jesus. No, I think that this is probably my favorite one since the Spider-Man one.
Spider-Man one's still the best that they've done.
What about that what about that 50,000 sale?
Andrew has the best one. The 50 or 500 million PS4 Pro. That one is the best
dark
one.
Blue, sexy.
But besides that one, like, I don't really count that one just because it's so limited and so hard to get your hands on. Besides that one,
only the true best of us, you know.
I fucking found that for you.
I know. I wouldn't be here without you.
No, so besides that one, I think that this is on par with the Spider-Man one. But I'm honestly not a big fan of special edition consoles in general.
I'm not really either.
I think it's like I like it to look the way it looks. Like I want it to look like a PlayStation.
That blue one's the only like special edition one I've ever bought in my life. Because it's like when the first one looks fine.
Yeah,
looks great.
That's the thing is like that's the thing with special edition consoles is like I like. Because I don't want it to remind me of one game. I want it to remind me of all these. And now we're getting
the
like
R2D2 360.
That one was sick. That one was sick. But like I like it, and now we're getting into like the psychology of it. But I like it to be evocative of my entire experience with the console, and I like it to be a little bit different. But I want it to still be firmly like it's a PS4, not like. It's Death Stranding on a PS4. Like, and so that's why I prefer the alternative colors. So, but they're just standard. They're not themed to any particular
But
game.
That's why I think that the Spider-Man one and the R2D2 one specifically both stand out as cool is because they really like they even like kind of changed the system enough that it's like, oh wow, that almost doesn't even look like a PlayStation or a 360. It looks like R2D2, or it looks like it's like a Spider-Man thing. Like
the Spider-Man one, I agree less so, but definitely the R2D2 one. Like the R2D2 one was awesome.
C3 or C3PO controller too. Like
that was awesome. And like I think my favorite detail on that console was seeing C3PO's wires between his stomach and his legs on the bottom, like on the joint or the little conjoining piece between the back and the front panels of the controller.
Well,
so
and
cool.
that instead of it having the normal Xbox 360 beeps, that it had like R2D2 beeps. It's also cool.
Yeah. Also, there was that Taco Bell Special Edition Xbox One X that made the Taco Bell dong instead of instead of the Xbox beep. Yeah.
Oh my god.
When you press the button on Xbox, it has like this standard little beep, just like the PS4 does. But there's a Taco Bell Special Edition, and you press the button, and it's like bong. Which is just so stupid that I love it so much.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing where like you get one and you just be like, he's special.
Oh yeah. It's like that's like, honestly, those are probably my favorite special edition consoles, is the Taco Bell ones.
Yeah, ones that make different noises. I would
those
enjoy
are really
that.
cool. For
or
sure.
Ones that had like better fans or something crazy, like.
Yeah,
because man, those things get clogged.
As far as a specifically themed around one game special edition console, I don't know. I think this is about as like on par with the Spider-Man one, and I just don't love theming the entire console around one game.
Yeah.
But a lot
I like
of people
it more when it's themed around something broader. Like, I mean,
like the 500 million.
Yeah, like, that's more of just like it's like a brand,
or the 20th anniversary
achievement sort of
PS4
thing.
one.
Like, yeah.
Or there was that Live Turns 5 controller, which was awesome.
Yeah.
All right, well, we're kind of often talking about special edition consoles when we have a whole state of play to discuss. First thing they revealed, Humanity. Ben, what did you think of this trailer? It was boring.
Yawn. I don't understand what it is, and it didn't look very cool. And
they didn't communicate what it was my biggest problem.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, they not only did they not communicate what it was, but I feel like it's one of those games where it's like indie devs trying too hard to be super indie. And it's okay to just make a normal game, guys. Like, not every game has to be like black shirts versus rainbow shirts.
Well, it was made by the people who made Tetris, so
Yeah,
it's not gonna be a fucking rager.
Coming in 2020, I really don't care about this.
Yeah.
My mind is blank with uninterest.
Moving forward, Call of Duty. Modern Warfare.
Looks cool. Looks like a good Modern Warfare story. But no zombies. I told you. I called that, though.
It does. No zombies. You did call that, and that's interesting to me. I wonder how that's going to play out.
People are going to be... They're like, zombies is the only thing I play.
Yeah, that's the thing, is I feel like there's a lot of people that all they play is zombies. They just buy Call of Duty every year for zombies.
Yeah. I'm probably going to lose a chunk of people, or they're just going to have to get into multiplayer.
Yeah. And I mean,
there's Special Ops, Spec Ops Survival, which is, I'm guessing that they've expanded on it. But that's what they had in Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah. And it's basically just a horde mode. Just a wave-based survival mode.
Yep.
Yeah, kill all the guys and those heavies. Ugh.
Yeah. Which
I did enjoy those challenge modes back in the day, though, where it'd be like, go into this area and kill these old dudes with like only knives, or like,
yeah.
I remember they had something like that, little challenges.
But Okay, so I know that this is super nitpicky, but I don't like that they're doing that. It's a reboot of Modern Warfare with Captain Price again.
What?
So it's a reboot. It's not Modern Warfare 4.
Oh, it's a new sort of version.
Right. But it's also, they're using Captain Price, the guy with the big old mustache.
Okay.
He's like the main character.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't like that. And I know that that's
What
picky.
if it's a prequel?
If it's a prequel, that would be cool. And okay, was that a younger version of Price that we saw approaching that woman during the Civil War, Ben, in that trailer?
I think it might have been, and I was thinking it's probably a prequel.
That's what I was thinking too. I was thinking maybe they're not calling it
because you play as Price in the Chernobyl mission in the first game, right?
That's right, yeah.
And that's a prequel mission.
In all gillied up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. So maybe, I mean, if they did build it into the regular Modern Warfare canon, I would be into that. In fact, I would really like that because I think that that's as good as Call of Duty has ever been. And honestly, it's ridiculous that I have a problem with the fact that it's Price again, like another Price, because Price was in Call of Duty 2, and I didn't have a problem with that.
I mean,
that was World War II.
Wait,
Call of Duty's Call of Duty.
Yeah, Captain Price was in Call of Duty 2.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I always thought that those names, though, were just like, it wasn't about the person. It was just the name. That, like, every story had, like, the same names, but they were different people. That's what I always used to think when I was a kid.
No, it's so 1, 2, and Call of Duty, or Modern Warfare 1, 2, and 3 follow the same group of people. And Black Ops 1, 2, and 3 even follow or at least 1 and 2 follow the same lineage, at least. Like, Black Ops 2 takes place in the future, and you play as, like, Mason's grandson or something, right?
I don't think I ever played the story on Black Ops 2.
But you play as one of like a descendant of Mason. But I don't know. I would love it if it was a prequel game to Modern Warfare. That would be really cool. And then if they did Modern Warfare 4 next, I'd be really into that.
That would be cool.
I wonder. So I mean, this was a new trailer for Call of Duty Modern Warfare, and it debuted on a PlayStation State of Play. And so clearly they're still like deep in this partnership with Activision and Sony. I wonder if they're going to move this into the next generation.
Maybe.
Because remember, during the last generation, it was like it was very much advertised as like the place to play Call of Duty is Xbox 360. And then that changed with this generation. Sony paid for a partnership with Activision, and it's like the place to play Call of Duty. All of the marketing is like PlayStation first. Do you guys think that that's something that could change again?
I don't know. Maybe.
Nah.
I don't think it really it is going to be a big deal for either of us, though.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to matter to people like us who are like, we play games a lot, and I mean, like,
we're all that matter. Like,
we have a gaming podcast, but I think to the like Call of Duty is one of those games. It's one of the best selling games every year, and it's one of those games that like everyone plays it. Casuals play it, and not that there's anything wrong with being a casual, but like those people, with the way the messaging has been and the way the advertising has been, it wouldn't surprise me if some people thought like, oh, Call of Duty is only on PlayStation 4 now.
I don't know. I feel like most of my friends who are fairly casual played on 360 last generation, partially because of Call of Duty, and then now play on Xbox One. So,
yeah. I don't know. Well,
that Microsoft got the brand loyalty more than Activision necessarily.
Yeah. I'm wondering if maybe they'll go more neutral next gen, or if they'll stick with Sony, or maybe Microsoft will shell out the big bucks. I mean, that's what they've been doing lately.
Or what about Google?
Maybe like that would be a major curveball if Google
it'll launch around the same time. So
yeah. Well, no, Stadia launches in like 6 weeks.
Okay, yeah. So, but that could be a big game for them to launch or to have.
It could be a big get for them.
If they were like, yeah, play it first on Stadia or something like that. Like,
yeah, man, that would be insane. That would be a really weird thing to see. Is like Stadia branding on Call of Duty before you see PlayStation or Xbox. That would be like
right.
Similar to seeing like Sega branding.
You'd be
on
like,
shit.
"Where'd you come from?"
Exactly. It's like, what?
How did you get a hold of this?
You're not a real player.
But it would make people take them more serious.
Absolutely,
if it worked.
Definitely, it would. I mean, they're like Ubisoft always leans pretty hard into new consoles and new platforms, but with as prominently as all of the like Ghost Recon, Division, and Assassin's Creed marketing is being featured in Stadia marketing, is like Ubisoft and Google are getting pretty cozy in bed together.
That's good for them.
So
should we get back to PlayStation, I guess?
Yes, we should. So are you, Andrew? I think if we buy Call of Duty, we're going to buy Call of Duty together. Ben, are you going to buy Call of Duty, or are you going to wait for Billy to buy it?
If I get Call of Duty, it's probably going to be the one that Billy buys.
Gotcha.
And I doubt Tim is going to be interested in it.
Yeah. Tim texted me about Call of Duty. He said COD was COD, and Last of Us wasn't all that interesting. Are Tim's thoughts?
You didn't think Last of Us was interesting?
No, Tim doesn't like Last of Us.
Yeah, he was not into it.
Andrew, are we going to buy Call of Duty?
Sure.
All right. We'll feel it out when we get closer. I'm not that excited.
I'm kind of like, my whole thing with Call of Duty is like, at least with Black Ops 4, because it was only multiplayer, you know, I got really into like playing that with my roommate for like a little while, and then like the next thing came out and it was completely forgotten.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how it is for me. And so sometimes I don't like buying it just because I know if something better comes out, I will immediately stop.
I'll never play it again.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you and I bought it last year, and I was interested in it specifically for Blackout, and like I tried Blackout a couple times, and I was like,
did you guys play Blackout when there were zombies in it?
No.
Oh.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
No. I tried it a few times. I was like, well, this isn't fun. This isn't the battle royale that I'm wanting. And then a couple months later, Apex came out and it was free, and that was the battle royale that I was wanting. So,
bada boom.
But next on the State of Play was, let's see, from the creator of Katamari Damacy. It was called Watam.
Oh yeah,
Watam.
That one looked terrible.
What?
Looked like a kid's game.
It looked like a kid's game, but what a fucking terrible logo! Like,
yeah, you couldn't read it.
I literally couldn't read it. I was looking at it. I was like, "What? You like, what?" I genuinely couldn't read it. And then they said Watam, and I was like, "Oh, it's called Watam." Now I can.
Yeah, that one was bad. But the next one, Arise, looked cool.
Arise looked cool. Definitely. Going back to Watam
play it
real
on
quick.
Switch, probably.
Yes, definitely. Both Arise and Watam, I think are very much evidence that that like Sony really does hit a perfect middle ground between Microsoft and Nintendo in like very family friendly, but can also do very, very serious stuff like God of War and Last of Us and, you know, Call of Duty.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Arise looked really cool. I would really like to play it on Switch.
Or Vita.
Or Vita.
Oh, wait.
No, we don't talk about that.
That is forgotten in the past.
Sony threw it away. Yeah, no, these are like little games that I would love to play on Switch, but hopefully they come to Switch eventually.
Yeah.
You just gotta give them time.
Shocker of the night, though. LA Noire DLC.
That's VR exclusive.
Specifically for PSVR.
What?
Yeah, LA
It's
Noire.
out now.
It's out now. LA Noire is getting a new DLC that came out today. It's exclusive for PSVR.
The VR case files.
It looks
Sounds
pretty
Live
cool.
in VR.
I liked LA Noire back in the
Cases
day.
in VR.
So, Ben, you're kind of our resident Rockstar expert. How confident does this make you feel that they're working on something LA Noire sequel?
I think it makes me more confident that GTA 6 is going to have VR.
Oh, okay. That's something that I didn't think of.
Yeah, I could see that.
That GTA
Like they're
6 will have
testing it
some
with
sort
one
of
of their
VR
other
support.
ones to see how it comes.
Yeah.
Like goes with their system.
I feel like LA Noire is more catered towards VR though, because it's a much slower experience.
Yeah, but I think they could do VR. Like, I don't know that you could do GTA Online in VR at this point, but I think you could do the GTA story in VR.
Yeah,
You
probably.
can play it in first
Yeah, I think
person.
you could probably put that together.
Yeah, that would be really cool. Man, that
Or
just
have,
makes
like,
me
a
even more
GTA,
excited for
like-
GTA 6.
Yeah, right. That would be sweet to just like.
Hang out
I wish that
the
they
side of a car.
had more like tools. Like if I was playing, if I got into a car, I want to like feel the controller. Like I want to feel.
So
the steering.
are there joysticks on the?
No.
So it's just D-pads.
Not even
Mm,
D-pads.
It's like one big button, 4 little buttons like spread out,
yeah.
and
How
then
do you
2
move
triggers on the back.
directionally?
So that's the thing is controls on the PlayStation Move controllers suck. And
Yeah.
So
Sony
how the fuck are you gonna drive a car?
exactly. And so
You have
like
to hold and like
Resident Evil
Steer
7
it.
is the best VR experience I've ever played. And the reason for that is because it's controlled with a PlayStation Move control or with a DualShock 4. And so you still do all the button commands. You basically just
maybe that's what they're doing in this, because it seems like for the driving and shit it would be.
Oh yeah, I guess there was driving, but also there was that gun sequence where it was very clearly like the gun was being controlled by a Move controller.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
So I don't know. Maybe I'll get this just to see how it is, just to see how it controls and whatnot, because that does leave me curious.
Well,
Finish.
and did it say that it was a PSVR exclusive? Like it's not coming to any of the other VRs?
I don't think
it's
it
probably like-
said that explicitly, but it's also there is enough of a difference between the VR platforms that typically like it's not uncommon for unless they say it's multi-plat, it's usually exclusive to one of the VR platforms.
Well, I would be interested to know because I do think that this does mean that Rockstar is interested in VR. Clearly,
Yeah, definitely. I think that Rockstar is interested in VR, and I think that Rockstar is interested in the Switch, which is two things that I'm really excited about. And like, they're two new ways to play video games, and I'm glad that Rockstar and Bethesda are really embracing those things. Whereas
I would
EA
like to see
EA is just leaving it out in the cold.
I would like to see San Andreas stories on Switch. That would be sweet.
God.
All right, but what was next in
My
the
dick can only get so hard, Ben.
what was
Next, they had a PSVR sizzle reel, which I really didn't
Oh,
care
yeah.
for.
Yeah, that didn't do much for me.
Pretty stupid. Medieval demo is out
of
today. Yeah.
And you can get a special helmet.
Yeah, you can get a special helmet for when you get the actual game. I'm definitely not going to buy Medieval.
Yeah, that's one of those old, fun, like classic sort of hack and slash games, but I've got plenty of those right now.
Yeah, and on top of that, like, it's sort of a Halloween game. There are some games that just really make sense at certain times of year, and Medieval is definitely a Halloween type game. And on Halloween, I'm going to be playing Luigi's Mansion. So,
Oh yeah, that comes
Which
out.
is even more Halloween-y.
yeah,
Oh,
like
no.
that one definitely trumps Medieval as a Halloween game, for me at least. So
Intriguing.
Impeaching.
yeah, I mean, I'm probably not going to download the demo just because I don't like demos, but Civ
But
6.
you could get a special thing.
Yeah, sweet. Special helmet in a game I'm never going to buy. Civ 6 is coming to PS4.
Yawn.
Yeah, I
Woo.
can't really help but feel like I would like to play Civ. Like, I think it would be fun for us to all play Civ together, but if we were going to, I would want to play it on Switch.
Well, and
Yeah, because doesn't Civ require like quite a bit of time to play a game?
Long fucking
That's
time.
why they want you to like play on certain things and like save in the middle of it and be like, we'll come back to this conquest later. It's
exactly.
it would have to be like a thing where we would have to have like a month long, like every game night, we would have to play it for like a month or something like that,
Yeah. So,
or probably even longer than a month.
and I wouldn't even want to play it on PS4. I would want to play it on Switch. And it's
Yeah.
already out on Switch.
Yeah. So there you
like
go.
yawn times
And it's
too.
already out on iPhone.
Is it? I didn't
Pretty
know it was
sure.
out on iPhone. But yeah, and it's coming November 22nd. Really don't give a shit. The Death Stranding console, we already talked about that. A game called After Party looks pretty cool. Another one that I would rather play on Switch.
Let's get to the good ones.
Yeah, there's really only one. And then they announced the October PS Plus games. MLB The Show 19, which is interesting because
Yeah,
usually...
bro. We are. I don't even own it.
Oh, nice.
I
Nice.
don't remember buying. I don't think I bought it, so maybe it's free. Or I don't know. Maybe I did buy it.
MLB The Show 19 is coming to PS Plus for free in October. I thought this was pretty interesting because usually they don't put sports games on there because sports games are like they're worth pretty much $60 all the way up until the day the next one comes out, and then they're worth like 5 cents because
Yeah.
nobody
But-
wants them.
They're putting it like as the Major League Baseball season ends, and I bet that they're probably they've just seen that sales on the game
Dip
die
at the
around
end
that
of
period.
like in playoffs.
Yeah, and so they are just like, okay, let's try this and let's see what happens.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point. Is they're saying, okay, let's give the game away, and I'm sure that it's monetized in other ways, like microtransactions and shit.
Yeah,
so it's
because
like-
it showed off like a My Team feature sort of thing where you could have like cards and shit that you have to buy, or even packs of cards, and that whole thing.
So I'm sure it's like, okay, we've pretty much sold all the copies of this that we're going to sell, so let's give it away and make money on the microtransactions. That makes a lot of
Exactly.
sense. Good point, Ben.
Mhm.
And then Last of
And
Us
it's
Remastered.
first party, so they don't have to
Yeah,
pay
yeah, they just
extra to do that.
give it away.
Yeah.
And then Last of Us Remastered, they're just working on getting everyone ready for Last of Us 2.
Which I'm actually cool. I'm pretty stoked on the fact that they're gonna give us Last of Us Remastered because I never played Last of Us Remastered, and so I will get to play it again.
I guess I'll just add. I think I already have it in my library, honestly. So I'm like,
played
oh
it.
man,
I played the
it's like
first
3 months in a
one.
row where I've played all the games they're giving away.
No, you haven't played MLB the show.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna.
Yeah, no, I'll download the show. I really like those games. But
I figured you'd say that. I doubt I'll play it because I have bought several and I always just end up annoyed by them.
yeah, no, but I'll download it, try it out. And The Last of Us Remastered I already own. That was the version of the game that I played first. So
Really? You didn't play it till?
no, I held
PS4?
out.
Huh.
I
The
wanted.
remastered version is gorgeous.
I was
I
very.
recommend playing it on very hard.
I was
Makes the
very
game
like
much more memorable.
particular about how I played it. I wanted to wait until the hype died so that I could like make a pretty much an uninfluenced opinion on it of like, you know, because everyone was jerking off to it saying it was the best thing ever, and I didn't want that to like seep in, and so I wanted to play it.
You didn't want to get that semen on you.
Yeah, I wanted to play it after all that had died down, and then as soon as that died down to the point that I was ready to play it, there were rumors that it was coming to PS4, and then I was like, well, I'll wait until this time, and if it's not confirmed at E3 for PS4, then I'll just buy it on PS3. And then they confirmed it for PS4, and then I waited till it was out, and then I bought it, and then I played it, and everyone was right. The hype was totally right. It was an awesome game.
Unless your name is
That
Tim.
it was.
Unless your name is Tim.
One of my coworkers is playing it right now with her boyfriend, and like she told me like the other week or something, she was like, I started playing it, and I was like, how'd that intro hit you? And
Oh
she's
God,
like, I've never cried so hard in my
just
whole
a
life.
punch to the gut. But then they showed off new stuff on Last of Us Part 2. They showed us a new trailer. The graphics were incredible. Like,
Yeah, it
God,
makes
it
my
looked good.
stiff.
And
I got rigor mortis in my penis.
the graphics were incredible. Dina is the girl that kissed Ellie. I don't think that they had revealed her name before. So Ellie looked much younger to me in the trailer where like her and Dina kiss than she did in the original trailer, which makes me think that maybe the revenge that she's after that was hinted at in the original trailer is revenge for Dina.
Maybe.
So I'm thinking
that
maybe
is
Dina's
part
gonna
of like
die.
this trailer, like somebody, like a friend of hers or someone important gets
Exactly.
shot, obviously. And I love that Joel comes back.
Oh God.
His like
Sounds like he was just watching her from.
Yeah. So
Sounds
okay.
like he was peacefully watching what she was doing the whole time.
So the way that they cut that together, if you look at the background, like the backdrop of Joel, like Ellie, and then they cut to Joel when Ellie's like, "What are you doing here?" And then they cut to Joel, and he's like, "You think I would let you do this on your own?" If you look at the backdrop, it's clearly a different setting, and so I think they cut that together for drama's sake.
Yeah,
which is fine, but like, I'm psyched to see these two characters together again.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what kind of culmination they have of that, because man, the ending of the first one, spoilers, I guess, just kind of heads up, but how that ends with him basically lying to her and
It
saying
ended
that
so
like
perfectly. I didn't.
there's
want
tons of
another
people
one.
with like this
Yeah,
thing,
they had a whole bunch.
but
of
then
them.
he
They didn't even
cruelly
need
like
you.
takes her away, and like it's very selfish of him.
Yeah.
And so I wonder how they're going to tie into that. Like she'll probably discover that
Oh,
he
I'm sure.
did
I
lie
think
to
that
her.
I think
And
that
she is actually
knew
the
at the
salvation
end.
of humanity.
I think she knew at the end of the first one that he was lying. But and then they confirmed February 21st. So we'll all be playing this game in February, which is awesome.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
I'm
excited.
super excited.
With a little zombie murder.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to request PTO
Clicker
that day
murder.
because I really am not gonna miss out on that game.
Yeah, definitely excited to play another, because the very first one. And what's funny is I might be going for a little like weekend off.
There's only one.
Yeah,
The
there's only
only
one up to
one.
this point, Andrew.
The very same. I went on some like week-long little trip right after it came out, so I got to play the intro of the game in the first like little bit, and then I had to
Oh.
leave for like Christmas like or something to go and stay at my family's house for like 4 or 5 days. I was
Oh.
just so goddamn like excited to get back and play it, and I'm pretty sure the same kind of thing is about to happen with this one.
Oh man,
It'll come out, sure, or it'll come out like while I'm gone.
that's rough.
February? Why are you going to be gone in February?
Valentine's Day with his mom, obviously.
Oh God, you're right. Well, I'm going. My mom has a cool little. She like is getting this rental spot in Mexico,
Andrew.
and so me and my brother are coming out to like check out Mexico and like see what's like what this little condo cool spot is, because she's doing like a apartment share swap kind of with this other like realtor. So kind of like this is her reward for letting them use her place. So now she gets to use their cool condo in Mexico. So she was like, come on out to Mexico and like have fun. And I was like, I'll come out for like a week.
Andrew is going to Mexico with his mom for Valentine's Day.
But yeah, it's like literally going to be like that first week. Well, I won't be out there for Valentine's Day, but it'll be nearing it.
Well, you won't miss The Last of Us because The Last of Us is February 21st.
That's right.
Okay. Well, thank
calendars. They're helpful.
They tell numbers in order.
But no, so the February release date had leaked a couple times variously. So it's good to finally have it confirmed. I'm really excited for this game. Any final thoughts on State of Play?
No final thoughts.
No, I thought it was a cool one.
Yeah. I mean, they announced a lot of things that I feel very like meh about, but like I think they're on the right track. I think they're developing it into something that, because this is what, like the fourth one?
I feel like it's a lot more like the Nintendo, whatever they call their
Direct.
things.
Yeah, and I mean, if you go back and look at the Nintendo Directs, like their fourth one wasn't good. So.
Yeah. Having the little like PlayStation Start thing, have they had that on the other ones?
Yeah. Which is a really cool way to get that started.
The deep.
Yep. But now it's time for the weekly trivia challenge.
Trivia! Fuck yeah.
Andrew, how many times do we have to tell you? We have jingles made now.
I don't want to stop.
All right. So
I'm here because I care.
This week's weekly trivia challenge, I was gonna let Ben ride on Tim's coattails, but now Tim isn't here, and neither of you know about this game. So you're both going to be guessing. In the original Gears of War for the Xbox 360, how many kills in ranked versus multiplayer matches were required to earn a seriously achievement? Is it A, 100, B, 1,000, C, 10,000, or D, 100,000?
I kind of want to say D, 100,000.
I'm going to go C. Final answer.
Andrew, final answer?
Yeah.
Well, Ben gets a point.
Yes!
That's more realistic.
10, up to
10,000.
11. Andrew's at 6. Tim is at 7. So Tim's in second place with 7. Andrew, you're in third place with 6. Nathan has 2. Evan has 1. Ethan has 0. Anyways, that's all we've got for you guys tonight. If you liked what you heard, make sure to subscribe on whatever platform you found us on. Don't forget to see everything we do all in one spot over at coldnorthpro.com, and hopefully making its triumphant return next week will be No Refunds, the podcast that watches bad movies so you don't have to. We'll be back next week discussing whatever it is that happens in the next 7 days. So until then, reset.
Reset.
And now we sing with the outro.
Outro, shoutro.
Shout out to anyone asking what the opposite of in is.
And eating out.